Special counsel Jack Smith says he plans to retire before Trump takes office. Elliot Felig is a former prosecutor for the Manhattan D.A. joining me now. Elliot, it seems like Trump's cases are just going away.
The Jack Smith experience ends not with a bang, but with a whimper. He came out of the same office I did, the Manhattan DA's office, having talked to former colleagues who worked with him, knowing how competitive and how driven he is. It's got to hurt.
I just made the comment that lawfare, that's the use of the courts to oppose a political opponent, I think it's a gross failure, and I think it's a disgrace. What will you say?
Well, when the indictments were coming one after another in 2023, one of the questions we contemplated was, how much is this going to hurt Trump as he seeks the nomination? He was being challenged by DeSantis and Nikki Haley. How much would it hurt him in a general election? In retrospect, we should have been asking, is it going to hurt him at all? I think, in retrospect, it helped him. He got a fundraising injection every time he got indicted, and looking at the election results, it helped him.
What about this, the hush money case?
Right.
It's been paused. That means, what's with that?
It's in a state of limbo. The judge still has to decide first the motion to dismiss based on the Supreme Court's immunity decision. I don't know if he's going to go ahead with that decision. The Trump team has to decide, though, because they have significant legitimate appellate issues. But an appeal cannot go forward until judgment is formally entered with the pronunciation of a sentence. So they don't get to argue the appeal if everyone agrees to pause it. So it gets put in limbo unless there's a motion to dismiss in the interest of justice, which I don't think would be granted unless the DA consented. I don't think the DA would consent to that.
So it just hangs around? Just hangs there for as long as it takes?
Unless the Trump team chooses to allow him to pronounce a sentence. The sentence would not be imposed. It would be stayed pending appeal. But the only way you can get that appeal to be heard is if the sentence is at least announced.
Is there something special about the Georgia case that we should know?
I mean, the Georgia case was already a total mess. It was already looking at years of backup because they haven't even begun to consider the immunity decision impact. They're still deciding whether Fani Willis has to be removed from the case. So even if Trump had lost, it would have been years before that goes to trial. Now, all of that gets put on hold. And are you really going to restart the clock with years of potential litigation when he's an 83-year-old former president?
Let's wrap this up. Lawfare was a gross failure, and the cases against Trump are going nowhere, correct?
Nowhere. And just look within Manhattan, where Trump was actually prosecuted. He went from 12% of the vote the last time to 17%. His popularity increased here in liberal Manhattan, the jurisdiction where he was being prosecuted.
I'm very glad to hear that. Elliot Felig, thank you very much for joining us this morning, so we appreciate it.